Yo, family, thank you for being with me on this Friday afternoon. As I always say, you could be anywhere, but you're with me on the CoreLink Solution here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM, channel 154. It couldn't just be me, but man, you have to tell me. I feel like there's almost an assault on the institution of education. And maybe it's because I'm such an advocate for education. I believe in it so much, but I just feel like every corner you turn is almost an article or piece about devaluing education. And surely I do not underestimate the tension, the pressure, and such associated with student debt. So, one, let me be clear, not advocating for more student debt, but I am advocating that we place value on education. I had an experience once where I was working inside of a large organization. I'll just leave names out of this for the sake of, I don't know, privacy, whatever, leave names out of it. Working in a huge organization. I had made it to a decent level within the organization in leadership and management. And I recall believing maybe I don't need to go after my master's degree. And I went around and as I was talking to different people on the executive leadership team, most of them said, no, you don't. You know what? They said, listen, you're established here, you're well known, you've performed well, people like you, you've got a great career trajectory. They said all those nice things. And they seem to make sense. And then I had the opportunity to spend some time with the CEO. And I was supposed to have about 10 minutes with him. It turned into a 30-minute conversation. I mean, we talked about everything and nothing, right? From family to, he had done some boxing and this is that and that. And I asked him the question about, whether I should go back and get my master's degree or not. And he said, I'll tell you. One, all the people you asked they're right. You're well respected. You've created a great network. You probably have a wonderful career path ahead of you here. He said, but they've made theirs and like really made theirs. And you're still on your journey. You're young on your journey. He said, what can you replace time with to pursue something that's going to make you better? I'm paraphrasing, but basically to put down the remote control sometimes and go ahead and get this thing that you're curious about. Go ahead and get this learning experience. You can't lose. And I walked away from that thinking, man, somebody just said something I was thinking, believing, but they said it in a different way. And I did it. And I'll tell you what I learned from it. When I went and did my MBA, what's the word I'm looking for? I was curious, I was apprehensive and trying to think through, is it really going to pay off? And I remember about halfway through having this huge aha moment. And here was what I took away from the aha moment. Oftentimes, when we're learning in different environments, corporate or otherwise, we learn from people in the way they do it. So they teach you a process. If you're in accounting, they teach you how they like to record things in the register and, post debits and credits and then show you T accounts and the difference between, revenue expense account and so on and so forth. If you're, I don't know, a plumber, maybe they're going to show you how they put the pipes together and they heat up the different things to make the glue stick and all those different things. But when you go through an education process, you're not only taught someone's process, you are taught the concepts that are behind the process. So, for example, from an accounting perspective, you are taught GAAP and generally accepted accounting principles and what that means. And then all these other legal pieces and what they mean and so on and so forth. And so now you have the underlying fundamentals, the pillars of what has to happen in accounting, the principles associated with these different components. And now you can look at the process that you learned differently and say, oh, that's one way of doing it. But clearly there are other ways to do it that would keep me inside of these things, the foundations, the pillars, the principles, etc. But maybe I can be more innovative. Maybe I can create something different. Maybe I can take this to a different level. Absent, though, understanding some of those things, I don't believe you have the same level of flexibility and such to do that. And so I would just encourage you, don't underestimate education, family. Use it to your advantage. And remember, what you learn, no one can take from you.